Okay, so let's continue. So
Yeah.
today what we discuss is like yesterday we have seen a basic level of sample. Like we discussed about our hello world page and the button event page. And today we'll see some more. We'll discuss
Okay.
about how do we handle a hyperlink event and
Okay.
image event. Okay,
Okay.
so let's start with the image. Okay, so
Okay.
generally like here the image, when you say image, it generally, oh, I'm talking about icon. So most of the times whenever you see any of the standard pages, you'll have a add icon or update icon or a delete icon, and some
Okay.
of some of the records will have a update disabled or update enabled kind of thing. We'll just see how do we handle a image event in the OAF page. Okay,
Okay.
so we'll just like in our case, like if we want to handle event, what we require is like if you consider the MVC stuff, model, view, and CVO. So
Mm-hmm.
you require AM, we require Vivo, a view,
Mm-hmm.
and we require CVO,
Okay.
right? So AM
Yeah.
we'll reuse it, and the view and CVO will just create it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we already have the AM.
Yeah, I created one XX, but I wanted to delete that. Will
Okay. So what you do is, like, yeah, I understand now. See, you are referring to the same particular folder, right? Because we both are using the same remote desktop, but only thing is I have a different account. So what you generally, I mean, what you can do is, so you are pointing to same directory Vamshi, right? So you just maybe
yeah.
you can direct to a new directory. You can point to a
Okay.
new directory. That will be better.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll just create a page, OI components page. So always set the default properties.
Main region. Okay.
Yeah. So now it shows two AMs. We have to select the appropriate one.
Okay.
On the main region, set the new controller.
Okay.
So now this is my page and this is the main region. Okay. So on the main region
Okay.
now, I'll just perform a right click and click on new region. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just creating a region wantonly. There is no necessity of that, but just want to just check it out. How can we create regions also? Okay. So click on
Yeah.
new region. So by default, it will create a region of the style header. Okay. Let the region style is header. I'll just change the region ID to header region,
Okay.
and I'll just set the visual prompt, visual text, header region. Okay. So now under the header region, I'll just create a new item. So if you see the hierarchy, we have main region, then header region. Okay. Now under the header region, so I have to place my mouse on the header region and perform a right click. Click on new
Mm-hmm.
item. So this is
Okay.
my item. So whenever you create any item, by default it will message text input. So I want to change this particular item style to image. Okay, because you'd like to display icon. So icon is nothing but image. So I'll change this
Mm-hmm.
item style to image. But which image I need to show? Okay, so we have lot number of images. If you remember, like
Yeah.
whenever we create a project, it creates my HTML directory, right? So in the my
Yes.
HTML, you have a lot number of images. We can just
Okay.
use any of the existing one. Let us say I will use add icon enable. So I'll just copy the file name,
Okay.
and in this one, in this item one, so there is a property called image URI. So just
Mm-hmm.
mention the image name here. No,
Okay.
no path is required. It automatically identifies the path. So we should not mention any path here. Just the file name is enough.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just say add event, or let us say add image ID. Okay.
Okay.
Now just see how it looks like, and then we'll write the logic to handle the add icon.
Maybe I was running it. Do you think that's the
Yeah,
reason?
yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Let me log out of it. Okay. I think that'll be easier.
Hmm.
Yeah, I logged off 3.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is how the page looks like. And if you observe this blue color bar, this belongs
Okay.
to header region. That's the region I want to show you. This is called header region. So what are the items which you have in this particular header region? You know, like if you see like there's a background, slight blue color kind of background. So this appears only when
Yeah.
you use header region. So now we have the
Okay.
add icon, right? So now what we want to do is we just want to have a event on this one. So whenever user clicks on this one, we want the CO to handle the event, and based on that we will be writing the business logic. As of now, we don't have business logic, but our logic is to just handle the event.
Okay.
So now in this one, we'll just see this is our image. So to handle this event, there's a different way we have to do it. Like in the button, we just used to handle the button ID, right? But here, what we have to do is on this particular item, you have a property called client action. In this action type, select fire action.
Okay.
Okay. So now here, you just mention event name. This is a user defined event. Okay. So I can just say add underscore event. This is my event name.
Okay.
So what we are doing is we are having an image, and to the image we are enabling a fire action, and we are also mentioning that the event name, so that whenever user clicks on this particular image, an event name add event will be generated. So better I know I'll just say like this, add event. Okay, this is better.
Okay. Okay.
Now this is my event name. So now how do we handle in the CO? That's the next thing. So in this one, like here, there is a global event parameter. Let me write that event name str is equal to. So what happens is like let us say you have a OF page. In that, like you have a lot number of events. Whenever you click on any of the event, any of the event, what happens is that event name will be passed to this particular global variable, event underscore param. So now what
Okay.
happens is like we have to know which event user has clicked, right? So now this particular event name str will have the event name on which user has filed. So now what we can do,
Okay.
we have just need to compare it. So I'll just say event name str is not equal to null, and if this equals to our add event, if this equals to add event, a equals b or b equals
Okay. Yeah.
a. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now it
Yeah.
means that user has clicked on add event. So this is how we can trap the event, handle the event.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Steve, if you want, we can we capture the button click event also in the same way?
Yeah, for button also we can change it to client action. See, the thing is by default for the button we have the flexibility that it does not need to have an event type for that. Simply using page
Okay.
context.get parameter, that works. For the button, it does
Okay.
not require event. But still, for the button also, we can set the fire action event, and still you can handle that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So here,
Okay.
the same logic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So this is how we can handle the event. So let us say if you're having multiple events, then what we can do is we can have one more image and we'll see that.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let us say I'll use update enable icon.
Okay.
So in this one, I'll just create one more image, new item, image. Fire action, update event. Now this is my event name. So then what I can do, I just need to write one more condition. So I'll just write else if condition.
Okay.
I'll just say else if, and if this equals to update event, I'll just say user clicked on update icon. So generally, like in the real time, what we have to do, instead of just displaying the exception, we just need to call our business logic, which we write in our AM, and that's how we do it.
Yeah. So Sri, here you are just saving the file, right? We don't have to compile it or anything like that.
Automatically it will compile, and when you click on run, what happens is, see, even I did not like observe here. Let us say I just modified, and can you see the slanted, the italic file?
Yeah.
Now,
Yes. Yes.
if it is saved, it will be normal one, but it will be italic if you have modified something. Now, when you run
Okay.
it, see, observe here, automatically when you run it, automatically those files will get saved, they'll be compiled, and they'll be executed.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
And also, maybe I think I have not told you. See, observe here. See, so there's one more directory which got created, my classes.
Okay.
Okay, so in the my classes you'll have the compiled stuff. So you have
Okay.
the same folder structure in the my class. If you observe, you'll have same thing again: CNSI, Oracle, apps, FND. But here you'll have the XML as well as class files.
Okay.
For
Okay.
the Java, will convert it to C class file, but XML will be XML again. There's no separate compilation kind of thing for the XML. Okay,
Okay.
but there is a reason behind why it copies to this particular folder. See, like when there is no compilation, why does it copy to the my classes? The basic reason
Okay.
is, so we never discussed about the MDS. Maybe initially, I don't think I told you. So there's a much concept
Okay.
behind called MDS.
Okay.
And remember, there is something which I told you, JRAD, Java Rapid
Yeah.
Application Development.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just see this one, right? So what you have here in the JRAD, I just have only one XML file which is running currently, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So the basic concept here is, if you're running the page, from the JDeveloper,
Mm-hmm.
there is no MDS concept involved. If you're running the
Okay.
page from the server, the concept of MDS is involved. So
Mm-hmm.
MDS means the PG file, the pages, whatever we're creating, they will not be stored in the database. They are not stored in the application server. They are stored in the database. We call it as
Okay.
MDS, metadata service.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so when we deploy any page, what happens is all the files will be moved to your Java top, nothing but our application server, and only the
Mm-hmm.
pg.xml, only the pages will get stored in the database. There are some set of tables called JDR tables.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
So that concept comes into picture. Okay, but when you're running the page from the JDeveloper, the MDS will not be used. It will use a different way. That's how it works.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, we'll discuss that when we deploy the page. Okay,
Yeah. Sure.
so now click on update icon. It has to show other information now, right?
Okay.
So at any point of time, you can raise only one event, right? That's the reason I have the else if condition. At any point of time,
Yes.
only one event can be raised. So better we always need to have else if rather than having just if conditions, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so this is how we just use the image events. Okay, now I'll just discuss
Yeah.
about the other event called hyperlink event.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so hyperlink, there are different types. One is static link, and the static link can be a website link or it can be a OF page link. Okay,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
another one,
Sri,
yeah.
one question. So we created one CO and we handled both the events, right? So CO is one per region or one per page?
See, what does the page contain, first of all?
It contains regions, right?
Yeah. So when we create page, by default, it always creates a region of the style page layout, isn't it?
Okay.
So we
Yeah.
are setting the controller at the page layout region level, not at the header region level, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
All right. Got it.
if you observe here in the header region, on the header region also I can set new controller.
Okay.
Okay, but the best practice as of now is always set the controller at the main region level only as of now.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. See. Okay.
Yeah. So now in the hyperlink we have different scenarios. So one is a static link and another one is dynamic link. In the static link you can have we can navigate to a normal website, or you can also navigate to a OF page. So in the dynamic link
Oh,
what we do is we'll try to handle the event, and based on that we'll be writing the business logic. That's what I mean to say dynamic link. Okay.
okay.
So for this also we just require if you see the M, V and C,
Mm-hmm.
right? Hyperlink page, hyperlink CO, and we require AM.
Okay.
These three components we require.
Mm-hmm.
So now we'll create a page and CO. Click on new page, hyperlink page, and set the default properties here. Okay. So on the main
Okay.
region, I'll just set new controller.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on this main region again, I'll create a new region called header region.
Okay.
On this header region, and now I'll just create item, and this item style I will change it to link.
Okay.
Okay. And the same
Yeah.
way, yeah. So now what we do, first thing is let's start with website link ID. So now here in the destination URI, we have a property called destination URI. See, for any item you'll have a generally properties. We generally call it as properties or
Mm-hmm.
attributes.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to navigate to a Google website, right?
Okay.
And just say Google link. This is a normal website, like this is a URL. But let us say if you want to navigate to OF page, what will be the URL? See, for the OF page, it is quite different. So let's first of all we have to know what particular page, which particular page you want to have it, right? So first of all, let me run one of the pages which we designed. Let's copy the
Okay.
URL and then we'll paste here.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is the page, right? So just copy the URL, and here we does not require the full URL because this can be changed, right? Now let us say the IP address of the system is 192 and something, but later on it can
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
different also. So but what
Yes.
we require is just this one, OA.JSP question mark,
Mm-hmm.
observe here. OA.JSP question mark page is equal to the page name, and that's it. This is what we require. This is a link of an OAF page. I'll just copy this one. So in our hyperlink sample, I'll create one more item which is of style link, and I'll just set it as OAF page link, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the destination
Yeah.
URI, I'll just mention this one. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. And
Okay.
this is our image event page. So in the visual text, I'll just say image event OAF page.
Okay.
Okay. Now
Yep.
let's run it. F11 is a shortcut.
Okay.
Okay, so Google link and image event OF page. So just click on this
Yeah.
one. So it will navigate to a Google website, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Navigating to the external website is a very rare case, but I'm just showing you generally how it works, okay?
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
this is an OF page. Just click on this one. Got it?
Yeah. It's going to our page. Okay.
Yeah, it is going to our image event page. So I'm just
Okay.
I'm clicking on browser back, but in general cases we used to have a back button and that's how we have to navigate, okay?
Okay.
And now other thing is like dynamic event. So let us say you have a hyperlink and that hyperlink should navigate to different pages at runtime based on which user logged in or something. Nothing but we want to handle our event and based on that we have to write the logic to navigate to different pages, right? So that's what
Okay.
we check it now. So in the header region, let's create one more item and the same thing, item style is link. I'll just say dynamic link event. Okay. So here what we do is, so in the visual prompt, I'll just say dynamic link because I don't know URI, so I'll not mention any destination URI. But what we do
Okay.
is we'll just handle the fire action. So set the fire
Okay.
action on this one. So now what happens is it will raise an event so we can handle the event.
Okay.
I'll just say link event.
Okay.
Okay. The same thing, the same coding applies here also. The way which we
Yes.
handled it earlier. So for the images and hyperlinks, the logic is same.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So directly we can throw an object rather than creating a object, rather than like creating an
Yeah.
object assigned to variable.
Yeah.
You can simply write throw new and this one.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's click on this one. So now it raises. I mean, it is handling like we are raising an event, and that is getting handled in the CVO. Okay. But later on we'll see how do we navigate. Okay. But right now we'll not see that. Later on we'll see
Okay.
that. Okay. Now next sample
Okay.
what we would like to discuss is, see, we have few more events like LOB event as well as pop list event, but to discuss about LOB we have to have a knowledge on the Vivo concept,
Okay.
OAF Vivo object. So for that one what we do is we'll just keep our LOB event as well as the drop-down event aside. So initially we'll just see how do we create Vivos, and once we are familiar with the Vivo then we'll try to see the other events. So
Okay.
now basically what we would like to discuss now is like let's design an OAF page to display HRMS employee data. Okay.
Okay.
We just want to create a read-only page, not updatable one. We just want to create a read-only page to display employee data. So as of now, we don't have any criteria to display. I mean to say like how many employees from which particular department or a job or maybe organization. So what we do is let's say that design OAF page to display like the first 100 records. Okay.
Okay.
First 100 records. So now the requirement is to display read-only data, right? So now if we consider the MVC layer components, what components we require? This is very much important,
Okay.
right? So we require AM and we require Vivo. Okay, there's nothing but a cursor. Let us say if you're designing a PL SQL program, if you want to retrieve the data from database, you have to have a cursor. isn't it? It can be
Yes.
different cursor also, either implicit or explicit, but you have to have a cursor.
Yeah.
Right? The same concept applies here also. We have to have a Vivo to display the data in the OAF page. So I'll just create a Vivo based on this particular query.
Okay.
Okay, this will be my query.
Okay.
Okay. Now we require view like nothing but HRMS employee page, and we
Okay.
require CVO also. Why do we require CVO? Because by default, the Vivo will not be executed. We have to explicitly execute it.
Okay.
Okay, that's the reason we require a CVO.
Mhm.
Okay, so first of all, we have to design the business logic. Nothing but aim is already there. So we just need to create a Vivo. So copy the
Okay.
query. So now I'll go to JDeveloper. I'll just perform right click at this particular package level, FND server. Click
Okay.
on new view object.
Okay.
Click on next. Now always make sure this package structure is correct. Okay,
Okay.
and also mention the like a proper name for the Vivo, HRMS employee data Vivo. And here there are different types of Vivos we can create it. So I'll just go with read-only access first. I'll go with this
Okay.
one, read-only
Okay.
access. Now click on next. Now mention the query, and you can also always validate. Click on test. It will validate the query. Query is valid.
Okay.
Click on next. Nothing to change. Don't change any of these properties here.
Okay.
So yeah, better always prepare your query and then mention here. It may provide you
Okay.
an option called query builder, but that generally doesn't work properly. So better always design the query and then come here.
Oh,
Now
all
click
right.
on next. Click on next. And other thing is like don't prefer to mention select star. Okay, always prefer to mention the column names. The reason is
Oh,
if it is a custom development, what happens is we know that, right? Like there is always a chance of renaming the column names or adding up the column names, right? So that happens.
yeah.
So better
Okay.
always mention the appropriate column names.
Okay.
So now anyways, in our case, it will automatically identify all the column names. And if you observe here, the left side one is a query column, the right side is a view attribute. What is the difference is, what are the database columns you have, automatically it will assign a view attribute for it. I mean to say
Okay.
alias name for it, I can say. Not exactly
Okay.
alias, but what we do is in the OAF page, we refer to this particular view attribute, not the query column. Okay.
Yeah.
So this particular thing will get applied automatically.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Can you see attributes? It says person ID without underscore, but here calculated is person underscore ID.
Okay. Yeah.
Click on next. And you can also observe here, attribute is person ID and the query column is this one, person
Okay.
ID. And it automatically recognizes the data, like a data type and all the metadata information from the database.
Okay.
Click on next. Now this particular process will generate two files. One is HRMS employee data vivo impl.java file, and another one is XML file. And if you
Okay.
observe here, the file name is automatically suffixed with IMPL. This
Yeah.
on this you will not have any control. The name will be
Okay.
generated by default. Only we just mentioned HRMS employee data vivo, but the
Mhm.
impl.java file will generate automatically with that particular name.
Okay. Okay.
And finish. And now see here, we'll have two files.
Yeah.
HRMS data vivo.xml and HRMS employee data vivo impl.java. This XML
Okay.
file will contain the query what we mentioned, as well as all the column names, their data types, everything will be available in the vivo.xml. This impl.java, you will not have any code as such initially. There is no code in here. But if you observe here, what it is doing, it is extending OA vivo object IMPL.
Okay.
Oops, inheritance concept.
Yes. Okay.
If
Yeah.
you observe any Java file which is generated by default in the OA framework, always extend something. Either it can be
Okay.
AM, it can be Vivo, it can be CVO, it can be entity object, anything. Most of them will
Okay.
extend the super classes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So now our model layer is designed. Let's get back to our view layer. So here I'll just create a page. Okay. This is my page name.
Yeah. Web UI. Okay.
Okay. Now set the default properties.
Main region.
Okay.
Mhm.
On the main region, set new controller
Okay.
and mention the controller name. Yeah.
Okay.
So now here the basic thing is we have a data which is available in the Vivo, and now we have to consider on which how do you want to represent the data in the page. So as we know
Mhm.
that the query which we considered will display more than one record, isn't it?
Mhm.
So the best
Yeah.
region is we have to use a table region. So what we do is
Yeah.
on the main region, perform a right click and click on new region first. So always I prefer
Mhm.
to have a header region so that look and feel will be good.
Okay. What are the other types of regions we have, Steve?
We have lot number of styles, but we'll be discussing one by one. We have message
Okay.
component layout, default single column, default double column, show height,
Okay.
stack
Okay.
layout,
Okay.
row layout.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So on the header region, I'll just perform a right click and click on new region using a wizard.
Okay.
So click on next. Now we have to make sure that we have to select the appropriate AM here. Even though if you
Okay.
see there is one particular bug, even though we selected AM at the page level, but it doesn't select that one by default. It allows us to select the different AM also. And it is not a bug actually, but there's a reason behind it. The thing is, a region can have its own AM also, right? That's the reason, it allows flexibility for us to select your own AM.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that's the reason.
Mm.
And can you see here? It doesn't show any Vivo. First of all, we have to assign the Vivo to the AM. When we just created the Vivo, right? So until unless the Vivo is assigned to the AM, we cannot invoke in the page.
Okay.
So Vivo has to be explicitly assigned to the AM. So, and also
Okay.
observe here, I'll just click on AM and click on am.impl.java. Okay.
Mhm.
Now here by default, there are 22 lines here, 21 or 22. Now assign the
Mhm.
Vivo to the AM and observe what's the difference. I'll just assign the Vivo to the AM, double click on the AM here, and we have something called data model. Click on data model, select the Vivo and just move it to the right side. So this will get assigned to the data model of the AM. The basic thing here is all the Vivos has to be part of the AM so that a AM will allocate memory for it and those particular Vivos can be referred in the page. That's a major
Okay. Okay.
concept. I'll
Okay.
assign the Vivo to the AM here and now just click on apply. Once you click on apply, see the difference that it will generate a method here.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
This one got generated automatically.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Sri, we can have one Vivo in multiple different AMs also, right?
One
Can we
Vivo,
reuse?
yes, you can have it.
Okay. Okay. All right.
It's like you have a PLC you have a cursor in the during declaration section you have a cursor, and internally
Mhm.
you have a number of blocks. In any of the block you can still use a cursor.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Now, yeah, now let's try again. On the header region, perform a right click on new region using a wizard, click on next,
Mhm.
select the AM. Now got it? It
Yeah.
shows our Vivo name. And if you observe here, the name is again a different one. This is called Vivo instance, we call it as Vivo instance, nothing but Vivo object.
Okay.
So what happens is this particular BC4J object, the query which we mentioned in the Vivo, that will get executed at runtime, and
Okay.
all the data which is populated in the query will get assigned to the Vivo instance. When you open a cursor, the cursor will hold all the data, right? And the
Mhm.
same way, the Vivo will hold all the data, and we are just using that particular object in our page to get the data. So just select the Vivo instance, click on next. Now it is asking what region style you want to create. I'll just want to create a table region.
Okay.
Now click on next, and it is asking which column you want to show it.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
click on next. Now by default they are message text input, nothing but like a input kind of thing, but we want to have a read-only kind of thing, right? Because we don't want to change any of the values, so I'll just change it to message style text. Message style text means read-only component.
Okay.
Okay, this is the prompt. We can also change the prompt. Let us say you want to change it as PID
Okay.
EMP number. Well, like this we can change it. And this is a ID. So ID is like better. You just ignore that. Let it be as it is. Next and
Okay.
finish. Okay. Now under the header region we have a table region. Under the table region you have a columns.
Yeah.
Okay. So initially we are creating using a wizard, but we also need to know how do we create manually also. Okay.
Okay.
So let's run the page. And if you observe here, it says no search conducted. This particular
Yeah.
status in the table region. So whenever you see any OF page with a table region like this, it means that this particular VIVO is not executed. The underlying
Okay.
VIVO which is assigned to table region is not executed. So unless we execute, it will not show the data. Okay.
Okay.
So now in the AIM-IMPL, now I'll go to AIM-IMPL. Inside this particular class, inside this class anywhere, just write a new method. Public void initialize HRMS employee data vivo. This name can be anything, but we generally prefer to have the name starting with init followed by the vivo name so that we can easily identify which this method belongs to which particular vivo.
Okay.
So now we have to get our object instance. What happens is in the AM we assigned our vivo, right? In the AM we assigned our vivo. So the basic concept is when you execute the AM, see AM will get executed automatically at runtime. Okay. So what I mean to say is AM will be the application module will be executed automatically at runtime. Okay.
Okay.
And all the vivos which are assigned to the AM also will get assigned an object instance.
Okay.
Okay. So now what we require is to execute a vivo. I mean to say is let us say we have to execute the vivo now, right? So observe here. I need to call a method called vivo.executeQuery. There is a method called executeQuery which is available in the OA vivo object IMPL, not in our HRMS this one. If you observe here, I perform control click on this one. See here. This is the method, this is a logic which I have written, 2 lines of code. But the basic thing is observe here. I'll just control click on this one, HRMS employee data vivo IMPL. Now it went here, and I'll again control click on this OA vivo object IMPL, OA vivo object IMPL. Now it will go here. In this one, observe here, there's a method called execute query.
Okay.
See, what I'm trying to tell you is, in reality, let us say if you want to execute a SQL query, we require lot number of Java logic to be written. Like we have to call our prepared statement, we have to have a callable statement, we have to set the string, and then we have to execute, and then we have to use a row set iterator to get the data. So but here this framework is what it is doing is it is having a concept called vivo object. You just need to create a vivo, and this OA vivo object IMPL will take care of all the functionalities. We just need to invoke them. That's it. We just need to invoke them. We does not need to write the real coding. We just need to call the method.
Okay.
So now that's the reason what I'm doing is I just have the vivo and I'm calling a method called vivo.executeQuery. But there is no method called executeQuery in our HRMS data vivo, right? There is no method called executeQuery. The thing is it's like inheritance, right? It can access all the parent information.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Now one more thing. So what is this get is all about? See, the thing is all the vivos which are assigned in the AM, all the vivos which are assigned in the AM will have an object instance by default when the AM is executed. Okay. Now we want to call a method at runtime, not during design time, right? We want to call a method at runtime. And now the thing is we need to refer to the vivo instance which AM has created, because when AM is executed, automatically all the vivos in that will be executed. Nothing but they'll get assigned a instance, object instance. Now here, this particular method, what it will do is get HRMS employee, this get method. This will return as the current instance of the vivo object.
Okay.
That's the reason what we are doing. We are just referring to the instance of our vivo, and then we are calling the appropriate method.
Okay.
Okay. Now this method we have to call from CVO, because we cannot invoke any AM method from the page. just from the page you cannot invoke. Page doesn't have that capability. It has to call the CVO, and the CVO should call it.
Okay.
Go to CVO. In the CVO process request method. So because this is like we want to show the data during page load. So then what we can do? We have to call a method from the process request. So, but how do we call a method in other Java class? It's very simple. We just need to have a class of that particular object, and then we have to invoke it.
Okay.
See, if it is a normal package, let us say you have package A and package B, and if you want to call some method in the package B, then what you can do, what you can mention, package B dot your method name, processor name, or a function name. But in the Java, it's quite different. We have to have an object of that particular package, and then only you can call a method.
Yeah, new of. Okay.
Yeah, right. And one more thing is, again, I will not create any of the method for the package. I mean to say, I will not create object for the package. I need to get the object instance of the application module. The reason is, when you run the page, what happens is application module also will get executed automatically. The application server will execute the AM automatically, and then what we have to do is, like, we have to get the current instance of our AM. So that information will be available in the page context. Page context will store the AM instance. So now we got the AM instance, then mention the method name, AM dot initialization, this one.
HRMSB, okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, now run the page and see how it looks like. Right?
Yeah.
And I'll show you one more thing here. Let us say sometimes you may have a requirement to export this particular data to the output. So what we have to do is, on this one, on the table region, create a new table actions. On this table action, create a new item. Okay. And change the item style to export button.
Okay.
Export button. And in the export button, just mention the view instance. View instance. Mention the view instance. That's it. Okay. So it automatically provides a functionality for us to generate the data in the CSV format.
Okay.
So, but we cannot control the look and feel of the Excel sheet. So automatically it will generate that. So if you require any customized logic, then we have to write the custom logic for that.
Okay. So the view object Vivo1 is automatically created, right? The moment we assign the Vivo.
Yeah.
To the page.
Yeah. Correct.
Similarly, in the Java code, we wrote the init method, right? And within the init method, we are trying to get the object, and we are referring to another method, right? So that method was also created by default.
The thing here, you know, like first of all, we got the object instance, line number 17, right? We got the object instance, and now in the line number 18, what I'm doing, I'm calling execute query method. But you know, this execute query method is not available in our Vivo, but that is available in the parent Vivo, parent object, OA Vivo object IMPL.
Yeah, I got that. I'm talking about the same in the same line number 17. We are saying get HRMS employee data Vivo1, right?
Yeah.
And that method is automatically created.
Yeah, this method will get automatically created while assigning the Vivo to the AM.
Okay, that's when you showed me that the number of lines have increased from 20.
Right.
Okay. So the naming convention will be 1, 2, 3, and so on after the Vivo once we start assigning.
Yeah, whenever you assign the Vivo to the AM, automatically, if you observe here. So when you're assigning, instance, this is first instance. Let us say if you're trying to assign the Vivo to the AM again, it'll have the second instance.
Okay. All right. So it'll automatically keep track of the numbering. Okay.
Yeah. We can control this
Yeah.
behavior also. Let us say we can also have, I mean, instance name, we generally prefer to have the same, like the assigned name itself. But we can also change this one. Let us, I can change like this also.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, now see, this is our export button. I think we forgot the label. That's the reason it is not showing the label, but
Okay.
got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Sri. Yeah.
So now here, if you observe, like these particular components, whatever discussed, let me tell you how they are getting called one by one. See, the basic thing is, as a business user, when you invoke the page, it will call our pg.xml file, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in our case, our PR method is getting called by default. I mean to say CO. From the CO, we are calling the AM, right? And from the AM, I'm calling the Vivo. From the Vivo, I'm calling the SQL query. Nothing but I'm hitting the database, right? This is the total flow which we have seen now. From the page to the CO to the AM, then Vivo, then database.
Yeah.
These 5 levels, 5 layers, I mean.
Yeah.
So till this part, your normal OF only, right? And this is the database. And if you observe here, the view layer is getting called, then the CO, then the AM. I mean to say model.
Model. Okay.
Right? This is the total flow. Clear?
Yes. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And now, okay, so we'll design one more page and I'll stop, okay?
Yeah. Sure.
So now what I will do is we'll consider a parameterized one. So far we just now we discussed how do we display data by default, right? But let us say we would like to display the information based on some particular input parameter.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's say we would like to consider item inventory table, MTEL systems items P. Okay. Now in this one, what we want to consider is we just want to consider organization ID as an input. Okay. Organization ID as an input. So let's see how do we design that. Okay. Design an OF page to display item data based on org ID. I'm considering org ID because we don't know as of now what is LOV and all those things, right? That's the reason I'm just considering org ID as an input. Okay.
Okay.
So model, view, and CO.
Okay.
AM, Vivo, this particular query, and I have to mention org ID, which is the input, and I'll mention :1. So in the Java, we have to follow the numbering sequence, not the parameter name sequence. Okay, we have to start with our parameter starting with 1, and it goes on.
Okay.
I'll just say item details page, item details CO. Okay.
Okay.
Now this is my query. Copy. Now on the server package, perform right click on view object, click on next. Item details Vivo, read only access. Click on next, mention the query. So there is some issue, it's saying.
System, SYSTEM. Okay,
Yeah.
we have it.
Yeah. It's organization ID.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Next and finish. So this particular step will generate XML as well as Java file. Now this one we have to assign to the AM. Observe here. Now we have 34 lines of code. Now I'll click on our AM and click on the Vivo, and I will assign to here. I'll assign to the data model and click on apply. And observe here, while assigning, it is having this instance name. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just going with the default. Click on apply and OK. Now this got generated.
Yeah.
Item details Vivo, get item details Vivo 1.
Okay.
Okay, now let's create our page. Okay, so now here, like almost like we are trying to design a search page, right? So in the search page, if you observe, the top level you'll have a search region and below you'll have a result region. So we'll try to
Yes.
have the same approach. So let's create controller first. On the main region, I'll just set new controller. Okay, so item details. Yeah, in this main region, I'll just create two header regions. Okay, on the main region again, I'll create one more region. Okay, so the first one will be my search region, and the other one will be a result region.
Style will be table.
Yeah, style will be header as of now.
Okay.
Yeah. So now under the search region, I'll just create two items. One is org ID, another one is submit button.
Okay.
Under the search region, I'll just create new item. One is org ID, and another one is.
So instead of using the wizard, we are doing it manually.
No, we'll go with wizard
Oh,
only.
okay, wizard is for
We'll
the
go with
results.
Yeah, we'll go with wizard only. The reason of having the results header region is to just have a blue color bar.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just say click button. Okay, now on the result region, perform a right click on new region using a wizard, click on next, select this AM Vivo. Now click on next, click on table region. Again, I'm going with table region only.
Yeah.
Inventory item ID, segment 1, description. Okay, summary flag, enable flag. Okay, around 6 columns. Click on next, set all of them to style text. We have to explicitly set one by one. We don't have any option to group setting.
Okay.
Finish. Okay, so now the thing is we have to explicitly execute our Vivo based on when a user performs click, and also you have to pass the org ID, right? So to execute our Vivo, we have to make sure that we need to pass the parameter. Then only it will allow us to execute it, right? So now in the AMIMPL, I'll write a method for that particular purpose. Public void init item details Vivo. Now expectation is we have to pass org ID. So as of now, I'm passing the org ID as a string only. We'll consider the data type conversion later stage. Okay. Now what is our Vivo name? Item details Vivo. We just need to call a method called clear cache. Whenever you are having a parameter, always call a method called clear cache, and also always set these methods. We need to call one dummy method called setWhereClass. Pass a null. We're just cleaning up the cache. Sometimes what happens if this Apache server will not show the real data, it will show old data. That's the reason we just need to clear the existing bind parameters, existing dynamic where clauses, as well as cache. So then we need to set where clause, call a method called set where clause param. So here we have to pass parameter sequence with 0 and org ID str, and then finally call our execute query. So whenever you're having any parameter, if you're having any parameter to the Vivo, we just need to call this line number 19, 20, and 21.
Okay. So if you have multiple parameters tree, then 21 should be called multiple times. How do we do that?
If at all, if you're having multiple parameters, then what you can do is you can just mention vivo.set where class param. And
Okay.
So here, if you observe, in the Java, the sequence starts with 0, but in the query, it starts with 1.
Okay, okay. Array index starts with 0.
Yeah, that's how it is. Yes. Okay.
All right.
This method we have to call in our CVO in the process form request, not in the process request. In the process form request, we have to call it.
When button is clicked.
Yes. So if page context dot get parameter click button is not equal to null, right? And now get the org ID. So I'll just say okay.
Mm-hmm.
And see here, if you observe here, I just type the partial portion and then I press Control space bar. That's it. And you can just type it, automatically it gets selected. Page content dot get application module.
Okay.
Okay. Now here I have to perform typecasting. Aim dot init item details vivo and pass the parameter.
Okay.
Okay. Now and now run the page. So I'll just pass org ID and click on this one, right?
Yep.
And here if you observe the region of header region, right? The two header regions, search region and result region.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let us say if you don't pass anything, let us say I'll pass empty, click on button and it says no result found. It means that the VWork was executed, but it could not find any data based on the logic what we passed, based on the data what we passed. That's what it means.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll stop here and next class we'll discuss more again on the search stuff as well as the LOV and the pop list.
Okay. Yeah. Sure, Steve.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you.